Yeah, of course, and I know it's on everybody's mind, and it's occupying a large percentage of my time at the moment. So what we've done, we've done now 5-year business plan scenarios for each of the viable locations, the locations that we think are viable. They've come out pretty well. So that's been encouraging. There's obviously some assumptions that we've had to make in those plans. We've presented a first draft to our board, and they were well accepted. So that's very positive. There were some questions that we're still dealing with, and in each of the cases, there's still some details to be worked out locally. So we're not quite in a position where we can make an announcement yet, but I would hope that we'd be in a position to do it this month. That doesn't necessarily mean that we'll be able to make an announcement this month. We should be able to make the decision, but there may be things that are outside our control that we still need to tidy up before we can finally make an announcement. But it is progressing well. It's looking very positive. There's some really good options, and I'm very excited about where I think we're heading. Not really, and we deliberately haven't really talked publicly about where we're looking at. There's been a lot of speculation as to where it is, and quite a lot of that speculation is not very wide of the mark. So I think most people know the sites that we were seriously considering. There were other sites that we did look at that didn't meet the criteria. So I think people pretty much know the sites that we're looking at, and as I say, we should be able to make a decision, I hope, this month, and then announce an announcement as shortly after that as we can. No decisions yet been made, and also I should point out that next season we will definitely be at the Swansea.com stadium, and I've had people saying to me, like, about season tickets, I'm not buying a season ticket because I don't know where you're going to be playing. You do know where we're going to be playing. We're going to be playing at the stadium, the Swansea.com stadium next season. Next season is exactly the same deal as it is this season and has been for many seasons. The vast majority of our games will be at the Swansea.com stadium. The only time that we will move away from the Swansea.com is if there's a fixture clash between ourselves and Swansea City, and in the event that we're unable to have both games on the same weekend, we would have to look at another site. That other site at the moment, we've used Brewery Field, but there's nothing to stop us looking at whether other grounds would be suitable. But as I say, the vast majority of our games, possibly even all of our games next season, will be at the Swansea.com. Definitely not next year. Next year, as I say, we are definitely playing at the Swansea.com stadium next season. I hope that we will be able to move at the end of that season. That's the plan. That's the timing that we're all working towards. So that would be the 25-26 season that we would be in our new stadium. They're okay, but not brilliant. They're not as good as I hoped they would be. We've seen a lot of excitement about our move, and obviously the team is playing very well. We're still in knockout cup rugby in Europe. We're still in the knockout playoff places in the URC. We haven't seen that excitement, that level of entertainment that the team's providing hasn't been reflected in match day ticket sales. So the crowds have been quite flat in terms of the attendance. And I was hoping that there would be more excitement around season tickets for next season, which we haven't seen yet. So they're tracking at approximately the same level that we're at now. So I would hope that we see an improvement in that. I know that this week is the deadline for the early bird pricing and reserving your seats. So I'm hoping that we get a late flurry from that. But yeah, as I say, at the moment it's okay, but I was hoping it would be a bit higher. They will, and what we're planning to do for the new stadium, and it slightly depends where we go, but there will be, because the stadium will be smaller, it will be wherever we go. There'll be more opportunity to have tiered seating, if you understand what I mean. So the best seats are, of course, sitting on the halfway line, and you would intend to charge more for those seats, and then the further out you go, the seats tend to get cheaper. So existing season ticket holders for next season, the 24-25 season, will have the priority in choosing where they want to go in the new stadium. And bear in mind, in the new stadium, the capacity is likely to be somewhere around 7,000, maybe slightly more than that. So for games like the Welsh derbies, the only way that you're likely to be guaranteed to get a ticket is by being a season ticket holder. And we can't justify having a bigger stadium than that, because our average gates are around 6,000. So hopefully that will increase, but that's the kind of level that we're at. So it's likely to be quite important to be a season ticket holder in order to guarantee your tickets for the Welsh derbies in particular. The big plans, and stadium does form a big part of it. You know, my role here is to oversee really the transformation of Ospreys into a successful team, both on and off the pitch. And you know, we have some very good people who manage what we do on the pitch, and I get involved to a extremely limited extent on that, other than the commercial activity that I do oversee has a big impact on what we're able to do on the pitch. So, you know, the salary cap for next season is £4.5 million. At some point that will go up. A big part of what I'm trying to do is to develop our commercial revenues so that when it does go up, and it will at some point, when it does go up, we've got the budget to be able to spend to that level, because generally speaking, the more you spend, the better your team is. That's not always the case. You know, we're not the highest spending Welsh team this season. We're the third highest, but we are the highest performing Welsh team. So it's not an absolute one-to-one relationship, but clearly the more money that you have available, the more that you're able to invest in the playing side. And actually that's why it's important for, you know, when we talk about it's important for fans to support the team, you know, we are playing well, we are winning games, we're winning most of our home games. You know, the money that fans spend on that goes back into making the team even better. It's, you know, so it's a virtuous circle. The more fans who come, the better the team will get, not just because of the support, the vocal support on the day, but because the money that they spend goes back into the team anyway. So that's part of what I'm doing. I'm also quite involved in sponsorship, which is another big opportunity for us, and also with working with the WRU on a number of projects, and that's interesting because it's not something that's happened to any great extent in the past, but the new management at the WRU, led by Abby Tierney, is determined to work much more closely with the 4 pro clubs, and that's so important. You know, it's one of those things. We're all going to succeed together, or we're all going to fail together. And at the moment, Welsh Rugby's been going through a very challenging time. We've all seen what happened in the Six Nations. That's not a coincidence. The four clubs have been underfunded for some time, and in the end you reap what you sow. And there's a recognition of that, and that we also recognition that we all need to work together to make things better. And some people may have heard that WRU are going to publish a strategy in June of what we're going to do going forward. The four clubs have been closely involved in helping develop that strategy, because it's a strategy for Welsh rugby. It's not a strategy for the WRU. It's a strategy for Welsh rugby. And there's a really important difference between those things, and that's a real signal of a new era in Welsh rugby, a really important signal of it. And I'm very positive about what's happening, but that too is taking up quite a lot of my time. The challenge, if you like, is that, I've been involved in the meetings for 3 months, and I can see what's happening. And there's some really, really great ideas being discussed and plans being developed for them to be implemented. All fans are seeing is Wales lost all the Six Nations games. Lance is talking about some stuff which kind of sounds all right, but I haven't seen any actions yet. So I know that fans will really judge on what actions are taken and what what actual things, actual differences they see. I do get that, but I promise you it's coming. Maybe. Look, I would never talk about any individual's contract. That would be quite unfair. I'm sure Toby would be the first to say that it's a team effort to get to where we are, and Toby's leading that team extremely well. And that's, you don't get to be seventh in the league and in knockout European rugby unless things are going really well. So I recognise all that, but I'm never going to talk about an individual's contract. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question, and it's been a really big thing here long before I started, that the academy pathway is really important to us. One of the things I've been particularly impressed with is the connection that we have with local clubs, and that's our Ospreys in the Community team, who do some amazing work out in the community. We're just looking at what they do, because I'm not 100% sure that everybody realises that they're a charity, and that some of the work they do is charitable based, but they do a tremendous job out with the community clubs. One of the things we're talking to the WRU about is how we make that even better. So that's a very exciting opportunity that I think will be coming up soon. The other thing that I found really impressive is with the players and their connections with their hometown clubs. When we came back from Edinburgh a couple of weeks ago, we got the first flight back, and one of the reasons for that was because the players wanted to get back so that they could coach their own teams that were playing that afternoon. And that's a fantastic thing, to have whoever it might be, who you've seen on TV or who you've seen playing for Ospreys or even for Wales, suddenly is on the touchline of the local village club or the local town club. That does inspire youngsters. I was talking to one of the academy guys yesterday about, we'd brought a youngster in to have a couple of days, and James Hook was teaching him how to kick, and then Justin Tipperick went over and stood on the touchline with him. That's incredible. And actually there's no other club that offers that kind of inspirational figure to help coach you. So I think that our academy is already doing a great job and has been for some time, and it's something we want to make sure that we continue to invest in, because it's that's where all the local talent's coming through, and that's partly why we're doing so well when other Welsh clubs are not, because I do believe that our academy is the best in the country. Yeah, no, that's another interesting question. The quality of the facilities that we've got, the training facilities at Llandarcy are very high, and the relationship that we have with Neath Port Talbot colleges, who own the facilities, is good. I was up there last week before, talking about how we can make it even better. So that's good. There are things that we can do to make it better. Some of them are quite simple things. Some of them are slightly more complicated things, but they're good. The facilities that we've got are very good. And when we move stadium, it's something that we're very conscious of. Is what do we do with the training facilities? You know, the relationship that we have with Llandarcy goes on for at least another couple of years. So the training facilities, in any case, wouldn't move at the same time. But you know, we'd have to work hard to find somewhere better than Llandarcy.